Click clack. Welcome back. I don't know how I just came up with that, like at the on a whim or whatever you want to call it. Yes, Sal is prepping the sauce because, like I said yesterday, today we are going on a gondola ride through Italia and the Serie A. I'm kind of excited. I feel like we always neglected this league, but the Corona has given us a chance to become one with the pasta making and the pizzas and the wines. Yeah, I'm gonna stop ranting. How you doing, Al?
I'm doing great.
You could have stopped me any point. You could
No,
have just been like,
I wanted to keep going. I was loving this little rant.
oh, okay. Yeah. I get into it. I get into it sometimes and my mind just, goes off to some place, this time being Italy. And yeah, which by the way, if you want to see Italy in a show and it's kind of quite comedic, Master of None. Have you seen that one, Sal? Master of
I
None with
have.
Aziz Ansari. It's a nice little show, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That is by far one of my favorite comedians as well. And you get a nice, well, you have to wait till season 2 to get a little insight of Italia. But, if you watch it, you'll get there. So, what do you think about Italia and the Serie A since the return of football, Sal?
Like, we have neglected Serie A, and this is to say that for the whole season, it's been on ESPN Plus right there for us to like just go back and rewatch it. I mean, literally, we could at any time of the day we could have just sat back, and it's not like we neglected it. I think we were following Atalanta since everybody has been on them for the past 2 years, right? 2 years,
Okay.
3 years.
I
Um,
think two. Two. I think you're right, two.
then of course the goat down in Juve. We've been following him, so it's not like we haven't followed. It's just that it's not Serie A from the '90s and the early 2000s. It's that league where defense was the major key, but still the football was beautiful. And I am wearing the replica of the AC Milan from 1994. It's not the original, but I can't afford the original.
So we've neglected it. It has been fun to watch the games that I've watched. Um, it it got a little spicy, but then it lost its luster within the last couple days, maybe week. Um, and to be honest, we can kind of for like the last 8 or 9 years, we could kind of call it the Turin Cup because the trophy always seems to make its way back to Turin, and Juventus has quite a grip on the trophy there.
Yeah.
Um, but let's just jump into some scores, and then we'll just go with the flow and see what Serie A's been up to as of late.
Yeah, so we'll start from Wednesday, July 15th. It was Milan 3, Parma 1, Bologna 1, Napoli 1. I'll keep an eye on probably Milan, Napoli, and Roma. They're fighting for Europa League spots right now, which are very close. So keep an eye and an ear for the scores. Sampdoria, Cagliari 3 for Sampdoria, Roma 2, Verona 1, Lecce 1, relegated at this point now. Fiorentina 3, Juve 3, Sassuolo 3, Lazio 0, Udinese 0. We move on. Torino 3, Genoa 0, Inter Milan 4, Spal 0. Spal as well, relegated by this point already. Atalanta 1, Verona 1, Sassuolo 1, Cagliari 1, Milan 5, Bologna 1. Now, Milan is on a tear at this point as well, so you're going to hear them either drawing or winning. Sampdoria 3, Parma 2, Brescia 2, Spal 1, Fiorentina 2, Torino 0, Genoa 2, Lecce 1, Napoli 2, Udinese 1, Roma and Inter 2-2. Very big implications right there. The game that should have been probably one of the deciders for the title. Juve 2, Lazio 1. That is big, big right there. And then we're looking at today: Atalanta 1, Bologna 0, Milan 2, Sassuolo 1.
Yeah. So AC Milan, yes, has been on a good run of form since the return. Stefano Pioli, people. Stefano Pioli. But not only that, it's also the resurgence of the old lion, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. The man got his first brace today, I think, since
Yes,
like
since
2012.
2012. Yep. The last time a team other than Juventus won the league.
So go figure. So yeah, there goes the Turin Cup since 2012. um, Sassuolo, go look at that. They lose today 2-1, and then they tied the other day to Juventus 3-3. So Juventus kind of put themselves in a weird predicament, but out of luck. Well, not out of luck, but mostly because of luck. They are gonna basically be, you could say, the champions, right, of the league.
I mean, basically, they're at this point 8 points. Yeah, they're eight. So I got the table right here. They are 6 points ahead of Atalanta. So Atalanta still potentially can reach them, but that's everyone's been shooting themselves in the foot. Closest contender was Lazio with the point behind, but
And look how look look at what they've done. They increased the gap instead of closing it in and taking over. So that's just ridiculous. Um, yeah, and what does the bottom of the table look like, by the way? I
bottom
know
of
we
the
got
table.
Lecce down there. Lecce's gone, but
Yeah, we have Lecce in 18 with 29 points, Brescia with 24, and Spal with 19 points. And
wow.
that is Spal with, let's see, it is 25 losses and only 5 wins. That
How many,
is just,
how many goals do they have?
they are goal differential of minus 40.
But
And
how many?
goals,
Yeah,
24. 24.
oof, they have less goals than they do losses. That's
Yeah.
crazy, dude. Oof. Well, there you go. You can't score, you don't win. Goodness gracious, man. I don't know. That hurts. That really hurts people.
Just listening to that stat, you're like, Jesus Christ.
Um. Well, good luck in the in the second division because
in Serie B.
yeah, because hopefully you find the net in Serie B because it's a long way home from where you're at now.
Oh,
Goodness
man.
gracious. So yeah, later on the show we'll be talking Ronaldo, Conte, and Inter Milan. Which, by the way, Inter Milan is what, third at the moment
Inter Milan is sitting at third, yes.
because they were second when I saw earlier today. But I guess since Atalanta got that one, they scraped by with that 1-0 win. They jump over. And then we have AC Milan, which we already mentioned, Stefano Pioli and Zlatan and all them. We'll get back to that. And then last but not least, Atalanta. Sal, do you have any stats for today?
So we have,
Your
yeah,
phone alive?
so yeah, we have everything here. So let me just bring it up for Atalanta right now. Atalanta becomes the first team since 1950 to have 3 goal scorers with 15 goals apiece, and that is with Luis Muriel, Joseph Ilicic, and Duvan Zapata.
Two Colombians in there, baby.
Really, I mean, if you watch this team, it is those 3 goal scorers who they are working magic. And you have Muriel with 28, Ilicic with 25, and Zapata with 18. Now, the closest to them are Ronaldo, and I believe it was from Lazio. I'm trying to remember. It is Immobile. Immobile and Ronaldo, who are the closest to those two, which says a lot about Atalanta at this point because they are a scoring machine. And looking at their goal differential, it's 51. but they have 95 goals in Serie A total. 95 freaking goals. It is just, they are far and away the best offensive team in Serie A. And
Definitely.
if they can somehow work some kind of magical defense, they are going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need, defense. And because they got everything else worked out, they're still alive in the Champions League. One of two teams in Italy that are still alive, including Juventus.
Yeah.
So
So we have in 53 matches, this is considering everything they've been in. So Coppa Italia, Champions League, Serie A, we have 154 goals in total.
goodness gracious.
Yeah, that's it in the 150 goals in total with an average of 2.91 goals per game. And when a team is averaging 3 goals per game, that's
That's sometimes a little bit hard to stop. Well, since we're already on the subject, Atalanta, right? We're talking Atalanta, so let's get out of the way because I was gonna leave them for last. Save the best scores for last, but we're just you're listing off stats that are just unbelievable. Like not always attainable. Can they replicate this next season and or some or at least well, I don't want to say half of the production because then when you say half of the production, you're looking at half of 150. You don't want to really notch them down that hard or that harshly.
Yeah.
But can you see them getting at least close to what they're doing this year, and then hopefully improving their defense and their chances to be a little bit more consistent in the league?
I think so. I mean, they have a great midfield headed by Papa Gomez, who is just, if you watch them play the games, Papa Gomez is just running circles around certain players when he gets his chance. And then you have Ilicic, you have Zapata, and you have Morel, who really I doubt they are going to go anywhere at this point. They love being at Atalanta. They love Brescia, the city of Brescia. So as long as they have that core working for them, and it's not like it's a fluke. They already did it before. All three of these players are known to be goal scorers. They just needed someone to provide the ball to them, and Papa Gomez is providing these balls for them. So it's going to continue for them. The question is, can they spend money on the defense where it matters?
Yeah.
That's my concern. Other than that, they to me are probably the closest to challenging Juventus, whereas everyone else, and we'll get into the other teams as we go along, I don't think they have the squad depth. I don't think Inter have enough players. I don't think Lazio have enough players. I don't think Roma have enough players just to keep going. Whereas Atalanta, for some reason, oh yeah, we're going to take these guys out. We're going to put these guys in. And the system still keeps rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. So to me, they are consistent. Luck is on Juventus' side right now at this point. But if luck wasn't on their side, we would be talking a whole different story right now and probably saying these guys are close to winning their first title.
Yeah, I would agree. But I do want to say that besides Atalanta, I would say that Conte and Inter Milan are probably there. And it's not very like noticeable. It's kind of also by luck as well because of the way things have gone since the coronavirus suspension and then the return to play. You see it across every league. There's always those teams that were hot before it, and now they're kind of stagnant after it. And that's kind of what hit almost every team. I feel like in Serie A, from first to eighth, it's been a flip flop scenario. Everybody's jumping up and down. Well, Juventus has been on top, but it's second through six is kind of like somehow, some way seem to have a chance to get to first. And they're all just like, no, 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 you do it. No, you do it. And then by the time they realize the seasons are ending, and then now they have to really depend on luck to be on their side. And for a team like Atalanta, they have what, 6 points up for grabs, maybe 9.
Yeah, about.
And
So I mean, and then they have Milan coming up next. So it's really, if they lose against Milan, then I mean, because they're like you said, Mario, it really is just a who wants it at this point, and no one's really
yeah,
wanting that gold ring at this point.
yeah, because when you think about it, Juventus, yeah, they've tied a couple games, but they've only lost one. I feel like every other team has maybe lost twice at max, and that's 0 points 2 times. Yeah, Juventus has slipped up, and we say slipped up, but really in actuality, they're still walking away with 1 point. The only time they didn't walk away with a point was that loss to AC Milan. I believe it was 4-2.
Yes.
Yeah, so Atalanta, if they can continue to bring that firepower, and we're just reiterating this a bunch of times because this is really all that needs to be done. They have firepower, and if they're scoring, that means they have the midfield capable to get the ball to those forwards. But the thing that sometimes lacks is the defense that allows the goals to come in. And sometimes, hey, you know what? The firepower isn't always going to score 3 goals. It's an average, yes, but it doesn't necessarily mean that those goals are always going to be scored. Muriel, I don't know what happened. I'm going to say this. He's, I think he favors the type of play that is in Italy, because before he went to Sevilla, where he was last before Atalanta, he was in, I believe, Fiorentina. I don't know. I can't. I'm gonna say Fiorentina, and I might be totally wrong. So I apologize. But
I'm gonna get you right now on that one.
okay.
Give
But
me a
the point of the
second.
matter is that he was in Italy, and he was a capable goal scorer. He went to Sevilla. He scored, had some nice goals, but it wasn't to what he's producing in this league. And it's not to say that it's easier or harder. I just think that the systems that are played here are suiting to his play style. And so it's just good to see him and Duvan Zapata have both, you know, great seasons. I just, as a Colombian supporter, I would hope that they bring that to the national team as well. And that's just a little side note.
So you were right. It is Sevilla.
Yeah, he played in Sevilla, but who did he play in before he came to Sevilla with?
Fiorentina.
Fiorentina. So I was right. Okay, yeah. I just for some reason I remembered him in purple. And I'm telling you, purple, 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 purple. That's the channel here, purple. Um, but yeah, so Atalanta has what it takes up front. They just have to find the defensive stability to actually compete and to be a little bit more consistent in the league. But we do look forward to them in the UCL. And when the UCL starts or is about to start up and running, you're going to see our faces here once again. And you'll hear Atalanta once again, without a doubt. So, yeah. Any other last statements on Atalanta stats?
I'll give the next 3 games. It's against Milan, against Parma, and against Inter. So they're playing both Inters for the next 3 weeks, whereas Juve are playing relegated sides. So
Ronaldo should have a field day, basically, which
yeah,
leads us to our next topic, which is Ronaldo. Sal, I know that on Twitter earlier you liked the one tweet about the 50 goals in 3 leagues of a certain player. Don't say it out loud, but we could probably do that in a kind of like what's she said thing.
yeah,
So if you can, while I spew off in the next portion, just have the tweet. I think it was by Europa League, right?
I have it. I already have it.
Okay, my guy. All right. So yeah, we'll leave that for like a what she said kind of moment. Um, and then we can talk about that. Okay, so Ronaldo, the GOAT, uh, CR7. He's been in Italy for what, 2 seasons now?
2 seasons, yeah.
2 seasons now. The man, the myth, the legend, even though they don't really say that for him, but whatever. He is a legend. He is a GOAT. I'll say it over and over. Ronaldo yesterday, or yeah, it was yesterday, right? Scored
Yes,
a goal. And what did he score 2 goals yesterday?
he scored
And
two.
was accordingly the first to score 50 plus goals in Serie A, La Liga, and the Premier League. Pretty big deal. Um, and also his goal ratio since he's been at Juve is a 0.82. I got the stats here too, Sal. Come on, come on, come on. Um, and then if you compare it to what he did in Madrid, like his whole career, Madrid was a 1.07, which was the best ever in La Liga history. Um, so the man is still doing big things. The man is 35. He currently is tied at 30 goals with Immobile. Ciro Immobile is low key because we don't talk about him because he plays in Italy. He's been doing it the whole time. And then yeah, we're the us Ronaldo fans are quick to be like, oh, look at that, 30 goals in another league. Well, look, Ciro Immobile did it, so how do we make that a big deal? You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, it's Ronaldo. I guess the big deal is that he's 35. Okay, so I'll give you that. And since his return to play, barring the what was it, Coppa Italia, right, against
Yeah,
Napoli, excluding that, your boy Ronaldo has scored 9 goals and only failed to score against Sassuolo, which they tied 3-3. So he's basically on a goal a game at this rate, I think, right now, right?
yes.
Yeah. So Ronaldo's still doing big things. Yes, some of them were penalties.
Penaldo.
Yeah, whatever. The most penalties ever taken in a season was 17, and that was by the only one, Lionel Messi. So get at me. Penalties aren't as easy as everybody thinks they are.
How would you put Messi and penalty together?
Messi? I don't know.
Yeah, that probably works. Pessy. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but he misses a good majority of them anyways.
Well, there,
So
well, there you go. Pessy misses. There, Pessy, Missy. There you go. I mean,
we could just say missing, like messing. I don't know.
it just says misses. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah. So yeah, Ronaldo is doing big things. Do you have anything to say about CR7, my guy?
Not really. I mean, just look at the man play. I mean, the only other person close to his age that does magic is the Lion himself, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Both of them are having themselves field days, and it's like time. The whole notion that Father Time conquers all kind of goes out the window with these two guys. They're just timeless at this point.
Yeah, I would agree. Ronaldo is a different specimen. We should never compare Ronaldo to anybody. Mm, but he's doing it. Is he the thing? My question is he gonna go somewhere after this? Do you think he's gonna go somewhere after Juventus? He's 35.
35. His contract is what, 4 years, right?
I believe so. He has 2 more. Yes.
Yeah, his contract has 2 more years, so he'd be done at 37. He could still go, and I'd say he'd probably give 2 more years. I think he's one of those magical players that will play till 40 and can still do it. I'd put my money on Portugal more than I would the United States.
Okay, I could see that. I was thinking MLS, but I wouldn't put it past him to go back home and stay in Europe and basically what he knows,
Yeah.
especially at such a age where you don't expect a footballer to continue, or the point where they're actually debating whether to keep going or not going. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
But so I just wanted to talk about the goat because the goat demands, that kind of respect, and especially when you go and talk about the league that he plays in, you have to bring him up. There's no other way about it. If you don't like him, let us know down in the comments and why you don't like him. Um, it's you have every right not to like him. He's not my favorite player, but I will say that he is the GOAT when it comes to world soccer. Just look at what he's doing. This the records, the goals, the everything. But I digress, and we move forward. So Antonio Conte played in Serie A, and then one day miraculously found his way coaching in Serie A. Found his way to coach Juventus. Um, Left for a year. Actually, no, left for two, plus whatever time he spent in Chelsea, and then made his way back, but not to Juventus. So this guy has a lot of history in Serie A. A winning coach, a winning player, and he's taking those talents to Inter Milan, right?
Yes.
Justin likes to call him Man United B. um, he, I asked earlier because I was curious. He's in third place at the moment. Was in second as of this morning. Do you feel like Antonio Conte can replicate what he did at Juventus with Inter? And if not, why? But if so, how?
I think he can. I think first of all, his bench, the squad itself, you have a good squad as far as your A team is concerned. The team that hits the field every night, as well as Champions League, all the competitions, right? The problem is once you get into the bench, who do you have? And when you have a Lukaku who's injured, when you have a Lautaro Martinez who's injured, who comes on for them? Alexis Sanchez, really? I mean, Alexis Sanchez hasn't done the same as he did when he was at Arsenal. And I really do think that with Arsenal, it was Mesut Ozil that was his key to getting everything done. And to those who say that Ozil was trash, go watch. Go watch those games when he had Giroud up top, when he had Alexis Sanchez on top. Magic. I mean, there's a reason why they won FA Cups with Ozil at that point. Um, they need squad depth. I mean, yes, they brought in Ericsson from Tottenham, but Ericsson really hasn't shown much in terms of what he used to do at Tottenham when Pochettino was there. And then what do you have in the back? You have who is in the back line?
Shit, dude, you got me there.
Exactly. And that's kind of, and I know Conte likes doing three center backs.
He
But
does.
I mean, when your center backs are shit, what are you gonna do, Conte? I mean, he has to reinforce that team in the offseason. He has to at least bring in squad depth without going and rating Manchester United for B players at this point.
Pretty much.
Had he done that, had he had the squad, they would have been the winners of Serie A this year because they had everything going for them from the beginning of the year, but somehow they dropped. And it is because they don't have no one to replace players when they're injured.
He has Diego Godin as a defender, Alessandro Bastoni, Lorenzo Pirola, Cristiano Baraghi, Danilo D'Ambrosio, Andrea Ranocchia.
God damn. Biraghi has 3 goals and Sanchez has 3 goals. when your center back has 3 goals and your forward has 3 goals, you're not looking good right there.
Yeah. Um, but the thing is, okay, now looking at his team, um, do keep in mind that Conte likes to run a 3-5-2, right?
Yes,
You did say that, I believe.
yes.
You have Christian Eriksen, Stefano Sensi, which I've never really heard of Stefano Sensi, but let's just list them off. Victor Moses, a little bit past his prime. Ashley Young, same. Oh, actually, I had dyslexia there. It's defender under Ashley Young. My apologies. Um, Brozovic, the Croatian, which is very talented. Nicolo Barella, Roberto Gagliardini, Mattias Vencino, uh, Quadwo Asamoah. Even Asamoah's there. Okay, so yeah, I would say Conte has to get rid of the higher age players. His midfield is seems okay, and as to why maybe he's up there. But yeah, like you were saying, if Romelu Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez can figure out their injury problems, that'd be great. But then when they do get injured, you're relying on one of them because there's only two of those like good forwards. Uh, Alexis Sanchez, he's kind of like we say forward, but he's a winger. Um, unless at his age now, he's kind of sliding into that striker role, which it's okay, but there's only so much Alexis Sanchez is going to deliver for you. So yeah, if they can find, I guess somebody to replace them when both of them are injured. I don't really know how often they've been injured, but
Well,
that's something.
Lukaku's been out more than Martinez has been out, and that's that concerning part. Where yes, Lukaku has how many goals this season? He's got 27 goals, and I mean that's great for Lukaku. But when he's not there, you're missing that firepower.
Yeah,
And
you're missing that goal threat basically.
yeah, and Lautaro feeds him. And who does Lautaro have that he can feed? Yeah, Lautaro has 17 goals, but can he provide you 22, 23, 24? I don't think so. And that's kind of that iffy. And looking at Inter, it's 28 wins, 9 losses, but 15 draws. And that's kind of where they shit themselves. They managed to get up there, they're winning, and then all of a sudden 89th minute, 88th, 87th, they let one slip by. And those are the points dropped. So they have to figure out something, whether it's bringing in younger strikers, replacing the back line, who knows, but they got to figure it out.
Yeah, Diego Godin was a good pickup. I believe they have that what's that Brazilian guy's name? I didn't see him here in this list, but he used to play there. I don't think he plays there anymore. Oh, look at this. They even have Antonio Candreva. Did I even say that? I don't know if I
Yeah,
did.
I think he did.
All right. Well, it looks like they have some youngsters here. I don't know how often they play him, but also Lautaro Martinez is a known target for Barcelona. So if that ends up having, or if that ends up coming to fruition, and Barcelona grab Lautaro Martinez, uh, which I don't know why they would do that. They have enough, unless they get rid of like Suarez. But anyways, okay, not to get off topic. If Lautaro Martinez disappears, then Conte is kind of in a bind. He's gonna have to find somebody that could provide Lautaro Martinez numbers, or just somebody that can fit into his style of play. And we might not know his name, and he might bang in 20 goals, and we'll learn of him then. But Antonio Conte, I think, has what it takes. I think he has the right mindset, the right tactics, and he's faithful to his system of a 3-5-2. He slowly and luckily got into the top three, or stayed in the top three, I guess you could say, um, because even at Juventus, he had a total of 129 games. The man won 87, tied or drawed or drew 29, and only lost 13 out of 129 games. So yeah, he may have had, quality sides at Juventus, and he had a good defense and Buffon. But his strikers were average. Mario Mandzukic, Higuain, Morata, and now he has Lukaku and Lautaro Martinez. A better Higuain in my opinion. Lukaku better than Mandzukic. And it's not to take anything away from Mandzukic or anything, but Mandzukic is a traveler. He's a journeyman. He just gives goals to any team that signs him up, and that's cool and all. But Lukaku has played. After Everton, he played for Man United, and now he goes to one of the bigger teams in Serie A history, and he done it for his for his national.
Belgium.
Yeah, his national team. So I feel like watch out for Conte, watch out for Atalanta. And with this segment, we move on to the next team that Serie A should watch out for and actually be happy that they're coming back into what used to be their glory days. So with that said, we move on to AC Milan. So how do you feel about AC Milan?
Like you said, Mario, they're coming back into their glory. I think and they did get hit by financial fair play. Let's just throw that out the table right now. I mean, they spent lots of money after 2012, and it was kind of that closing of the guard, you can kind of say, where Maldini retired that year, and then you had Zlatan leave as well. You had a squad that was a real squad, one of the better squads that Italy has seen. And then slowly that decline happened. And the team got sold to investors in China. And you can read about it. I'm not even going to go into the whole detail of it. Yeah. But just know that they hit horrible, horrible times. Now we can see it, and they're growing back. It seems as if they're gaining confidence. They're on a 9-game unbeaten run, which we wouldn't have been saying much about AC Milan, but because they are AC Milan, good for them. They're sitting right now in the table. They are in 5th place on the table, which is incredible. I mean, we're looking at Lazio at 69 and AC Milan at 59, which I mean, just a few weeks ago, they were 10, 12 points back. And we were saying, okay, Roma and Napoli were going to be the ones that are going to sit at the Europa League spots. Now, you ask me, it will be AC Milan and Roma sitting on those spots. They're just miles ahead better than Napoli. And Gattuso has Napoli well, but Pioli is just if everything's working and the infusion of Zlatan in there, and they needed somebody like him to say, get your asses up. You're better than this. We are AC Milan. They're firing on all cylinders. And when you look at their goal scorers, you have Ante Ribic with 12. Bless you. Chanaloglu, bless you again. 9 goals. Ibra with 8. Theo Hernandez at 8. Rafael Leao at 5. I mean, the team, it's not like they're scoring high, but they're at this pace where everyone is keeping up. and that's exactly what they need. But they will need a goal scorer next year. They will need someone up top. Other than that,
Yeah,
it's a squad now. Yeah.
like you said, they're getting contribution because you mentioned the name there, Teo Hernandez, 8 goals. The boy is a left back, people, a left back. So that is what is catapulting this AC Milan team. Everybody pitches in from anywhere on the pitch, and it's working. It's a good sight to see AC Milan in the top five. Is it enough for Champions League? Comeback? No, it's enough for Europa, and that's good enough for AC Milan, especially with the troublesome amount of years they've had. What, the last 5 to 7 years,
Yeah.
maybe more. You know, Stefano Pioli. We said his name earlier. That is the man in charge. That is the man taking names. That is the man that has, after today's win, extended his contract to 2022. He was on the seat of being chopped because I think he was just there to kind of
He was just how
like
what was the what's the word though? It's a caretaker. He was just a caretaker. There we go.
yeah, he was just there to buy time and till they found and scouted out the next manager for AC Milan, and even the guy that was supposedly supposed to replace um, Stefano Pioli was taking notes on what he was doing because it's been so impressive since the return of play. And then AC Milan was just like, what's the point of him taking notes and trying to replicate this when we have the guy actually doing this kind of stuff? So, Ralph Rangnick, I apologize, but your services are not needed. You knew this a while back, but I just have to say it again. Thank you for your consideration in AC Milan, but it's definitely not needed. Stefano Pioli, do your thing, and please, for the love of God, bring AC Milan back to European play.
Let's add that also Rock Nation has also invested into AC Milan at this point. So if we are going to see an infusion of money into the squad. I mean, and that's looking at how Liverpool, because Liverpool have as well their own basically investors, which are American, but you got guys that like LeBron and others within Nike who invest into Liverpool, and now you're gonna have Rock Nation. For those of you who don't know, it's Jay-Z, Beyonce, and many others who will be putting money into the squad, and hopefully within the next 2-3 years we see the glory of AC Milan return to challenge for that Scudetto, to maybe raise another Champions League trophy, which they were very good at raising throughout those years.
Yeah, if you don't know, it's Real Madrid, AC Milan, then Liverpool.
Yep.
So AC Milan has history. We missed that history. We miss seeing them. I myself am a big Parma fan. My door as a child was covered in Parma pictures. I always got like a monthly magazine. I don't know where it came from, but I loved it and it made me become a fan. And if you don't know, a lot of the big players came from Parma: Cannavaro, Buffon, Thuram, Hernan Crespo, and the list goes on. So yeah, Parma is, I guess, the hipster club of of Serie A. So I was giving a lot of flack yesterday to Leeds, but yes, I am a hipster in the sense of a Parma fan.
Let's be real with the people that we don't see as much hipsterish vibes from Parma fans as we do from Leeds fans. Leeds fans tend to come out of the woodwork as soon as something good happens. They're like, don't hate me by saying this, but like cockroaches coming out of the fucking sink. They like crawl out and they're like all over the place afterwards. Where Parma, they went bankrupt. They went bankrupt at a certain time, and now they're back. Yeah, they've had a horrible history, but they're back and slowly coming back into their own ranks. But I mean, it's good to see these clubs that Serie A that were made famous within Serie A have their return back to normal. And a challenge to Juventus is what we all want because it's been, like Mario said, the Turin Cup all these years, and it gets boring after a while. And I want to see AC Milan back, and I'm not a I watched Serie A and I played defense growing up and as a player, and to me the man himself, Paolo Maldini, was the GOAT as far as defenders go and the longevity that he had. So I just want to see that squad back to prominence, see them where they belong in Serie A, and raising another Champions League at that.
Yeah. Yeah, if Serie A can become what it was in the '90s, then Europe is kind of just well balanced as a whole. So yeah, I believe we hit our main topics. So we have one more. It's a what's being said. I like to say what she said. What is it, Sal?
So we have from, and I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong, Nembosia Markovic, Serbian reporter, who went on to say, Edin Dzeko scored 50 plus goals in Bundesliga, Premier League, and Serie A way before Cristiano did this. But the entire internet was not drooling. Mario, your thoughts?
My thoughts. I'm not drooling because it's Edin Dzeko. No, I don't know, dude. It's that's a big eye opener. So it's kind of like I just mentioned it earlier in the show. The man has 50 plus goals in 3 leagues, but this dude did it back what 2 years ago.
Yes.
So is he really the first then? It,
No,
I would say he's the first because he did it
he
in
did it in the Premier League.
he did it in La Liga.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah, Dzeko did it in the Bundesliga, Serie A, and the Premier League.
Yes.
So,
But again, we're looking at the clubs though. Ronaldo came from arguably the biggest club in La Liga, Real Madrid, versus Dzeko, who came from Wolfsburg, which is a VW plant team. So I mean, you can't. I mean, nothing against Wolfsburg. Nothing against. Well, they've won Bundesliga. They are a great club, but we don't give the same love to Wolfsburg. And then, of course, playing at Manchester City, which you're not going to get the same recognition as though you played for Manchester United. So it really is comparing. I mean, you could say apples to oranges, but it basically is. I mean, Ronaldo comes from clubs that are dominant, where Dzeko was at tier 2 clubs, you could say. Of course, the fans are going to drool, but if you follow stats, which your normal person doesn't follow stats. I mean, I'm here reading off stats because I'm a nerd like that. I like to watch how players do, but
yeah,
really, I mean,
I
okay.
would say we don't drool about Dzeko because or Zeko or I don't know how to pronounce his name, to be completely honest, and we already know I'm not good at pronunciation. I would say it's a big deal because the boy Ronaldo is doing something that the man Messi hasn't done and probably will never do since he spent his entire career in La Liga just stat padding for Barcelona. That's what makes Ronaldo great. Ronaldo goes from Portugal to England to Spain to Serie A. He's conquering Europe as Messi is just making history for one club. Ronaldo is making history throughout the continent. It's like Julius Caesar taking over so many countries in a sense. It's something you look at more. And for that reason, no offense to Eden, it's just, dude, you're nowhere near Ronaldo's spectrum. but congratulations that in reality you are the first. So round of applause for that. But you don't really have this ongoing hypothetical or whatever Twitter beef that's made by the stands, and so that's why we don't really look at what any other player does. And to be honest, I'm kind of tired of that. I feel like we always don't recognize talents as much because we're so stuck on these two players. And when the time comes, I'm gonna be super excited that we actually get to stop with this whole one and two and just be able to look at everybody like we used to. You know what I'm saying? Like we had players back in the day. We didn't just put two on a pedestal and then just fight between those two. You know what I'm saying? Um, so I look forward to that day. But Eden, like I said, just take a backseat on this one, man. At least that dude came and brought your stats up and gave you some claim to fame, and that's cool and all. But we're in the Ronaldo Messi conversation spectrum, and that's why we had no freaking clue. And why wasn't it brought up in 2018? You know what I'm saying?
And again, I mean, and it's not to say bad on Dzeko, but Dzeko is known as journeyman. He went from one club to another. I mean, yes, he stayed at those three clubs the longest, but he didn't have where Ronaldo was. I'm gonna leave United for Real Madrid, which is you could kind of say is an upgrade to some players, right? Or the other way around, but you're still going from big to big to big, right? And Dzeko, after he left City, has said that he hated playing in England because it rained all the time. You never heard Ronaldo complain about the rain, him say, I hated United because no. Look at Ronaldo. How many Premier Leagues did he win? He won a Champions League in Manchester. Two different players at two different stages. Ronaldo was a kid still at United. Dzeko, you were not a kid at City. So, I mean, and you were there right when oil money was coming into basically City. So nothing against him, but you can kind of put check mark, an asterisk like this happened. So
yeah, and he was kind of backseat to Aguero at that point too. So like he got his 50 goals quietly, and as to why nobody made a big deal about it. So yeah, the guy has a point. Why weren't we drooling about it? Well, because it was so quiet that nobody knew it happened, and you just decided to bring it up now after it's being made a big deal that Ronaldo did it, as to kind of take away the limelight from Ronaldo. And that's cool and all. I applaud you on the attempt. It failed big time. And also, there was a point I wanted to make. Oh, yes. Ronaldo, when he left Portugal, when he left his hometown to play in Lisbon, he was homesick. He was, depressed, but he found his way around that by working and working and working. And yes, exactly the mindset you were talking about, Sal. That's what made Ronaldo, and that's why we care about Ronaldo, and that's why we gloat about Ronaldo.
There's the other stat from Justin.
Yeah, you see, and there you go. Dzeko hasn't been close to winning one. He scored 50 goals through 5 years, so like 10 goals every season. No, Ronaldo scored 50 in one season at one point. So I don't know, dude. It was cool.
And
it was an eye.
Yeah, and I remember the story by Patrice Evra. I mean, someone beat Ronaldo at ping pong. He went and bought a ping pong table, and all of a sudden he beat who beat him. And Ronaldo, anytime he lost, he came back better than ever. And that the mindset, like you said, Mario, it's just we're looking at two different players, and one wanted it and always wants it, and you can tell from the field. When I was watching Juve the other day, when he missed a free header that came off the post, Ronaldo, the first thing out of his mouth, fuck. That's the first thing out of his mouth. Jeko, I've seen him. He just puts his head down like, oh, okay. Mentality. That's it.
Real Ferdinand.
There you go. There you go.
But yeah, so that's what was said. You heard what we have to say. I can go on for ages. I think we both can go on for ages. Ronaldo is the GOAT. And again, not my favorite player, so don't personally attack me. But if you want to debate why is the GOAT, then just go for it, I guess. I'll connect my phone to Justin's phone, and then you can have a great conversation. But yeah, so thank you for joining us. I hope you enjoyed your beautiful vino and your pasta. Just is here with us, or no, he was with us. He's off eating his pasta with the white sauce because he's the white sauce guy. I hope you were smart enough to grab the red sauce guy. Oh, he's still here. Hey, what up, white sauce? And then so yeah, thank you for joining us. Thank you for listening. I hope you liked it. If you have any comments or opinions, drop them below. I do read them. Like, subscribe. If you do subscribe, I can promise you that FieldTalk just will be on the next one. That's how sure I am of it all. So we will see you Thursday. Tomorrow I have some family matters to take care of. So Thursday we will jump over to España, and I might be drunk for that one. So if you want to see a drunk Mario, by all means necessary, join us and hear me just babble on about the best team in the world. You know what I'm saying? So it's all good. This man is just laughing in the peanut gallery. I'm with you, my man. I'm with you. So follow me at FieldTalk_Benzi. Follow the AC Milan Kitman at South Talk Soccer. And then the guy in the peanut gallery, yeah, at FieldTalk just _. 2020 content. And we had yesterday, we have today. You'll see us Thursday. And you might see me. Actually, you'll see me on Friday too. You're going to see me on Friday. I bet. Right, Sal? MLS?
Yeah. Yes. Right. MLS.
So it's been a lovely hour with you, beautiful people. Enjoy the rest of your night or your morning or your afternoon and all that good stuff. Sal, you have any words before we leave?
Ciao, Bailey.
There you go. You know, that's crazy because I was going to say buongiorno when we opened, and that totally went out the window, dude. So, all right, people. I'm out of here. See you on the next one. See you Thursday. We love you guys.
Bye. Ciao.
Bye. Well, we still got like 80